I like that a lot better. I don't know what the random explosion at the end was, but I mean that's like some WWF shit. But hey, you know.
Listen, I also like Matt's picture in the middle where it says "Put guest here."
And yeah, it's just a silhouette.
Yep, that was the best picture of Matt I've ever seen.
Anybody
I really
else
like
besides me?
Keith, it just said bourbon.
And I want to know what Keith's looking at. He's just like looking off into the distance.
What else is there?
You know, Peyton, it would have been better if you would have put that video with like the parrot running away from the fire at the end. You know, there's a meme that would just set that off completely.
I would.
Yeah, I'll add that in. Yeah, don't worry. I'll add that to my to-do list.
I sent Bernie the funniest damn picture this weekend. So Elizabeth and I, there's a cool grocery store close to us called Town Talk Foods. And what it is they get food that is close to expiration and everything else. And instead of sending it to landfills and everything, they'll send it to these like stores and you get stuff at stupid discounted rates. It's a phenomenal freaking store. And you'll find some of the most random shit in there you ever found.
Where is it?
In Weatherford, right across from Aldi's. Literally I sent Bernie a picture of a bag of chips, crackers. These are vegan and gluten-free, and they're called mustache munchies. They're spicy-ish.
You like crumble them up, put them in your mustache, and then eat them?
I don't know. But I think I would have come up with a better name than mustache munchies.
There's probably a reason they're in that store.
Right. Yeah, no kidding. The other thing, how many of you guys like Guy Ritchie and his films?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare?
Not
It
yet.
just came out in 24. Holy shit, it's everything Guy Ritchie. I was all in, man. I love his stuff. I've yet to see one of his movies that I can't get behind. But he's also got a series out called The Gentleman, and it's basically based off of the movie The Gentleman. So it takes you, to their instead of like everything outside the farms, it's centered around one of the estates. It's so rad. Elizabeth and I, but get ready because it is all Guy Ritchie. I mean, that dude, I think he just sits around sometimes going, "What weird shit can I come up with today?" So, but the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare was damn good. We watched that this weekend.
That's awesome.
What'd you guys do this weekend? Anything fun and exciting?
I saw Deadpool.
Oh, did you?
Oh, jealous.
Oh, it was so good. I cannot. I'm seeing it again tonight. It was amazing. It's
wow. Going to see it again.
If you are a comic person, the call outs, the cameos, it's totally worth it. It's everything. It's a total fan movie. If you're not a fan, the movie would not work.
I saw somewhere that it grossed more than any other Avengers MCU movie in the first weekend.
Yeah. I mean, come on, you got freaking Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds. I mean, you can't go wrong with that combination.
And you really feel like it's just them hanging out like they would on a normal like Tuesday night. Like you really feel like the dialogue is so like honest and just who they are as humans that you're like, this was just something y'all just sat on your couch and wrote. And
dude, and they've run a master class on how to promote something. They've been on every TV show, podcast, live interview, late night. I mean,
well, they're just real people. I mean, if you see them on an interview, you're like, those are two guys I'd go have a beer with.
Exactly.
I don't think they'd have a beer with us, but
that's a whole other story.
And then apparently Robert Downey Jr. is coming back to the MCU as well.
Dr. Doom.
That
what is his character? I didn't see what his character is.
So he's going to be Dr. Doom, but there's also a comic storyline where Dr. Doom becomes Iron Man.
Yeah.
So that could be a very interesting play in the multiverse.
No way.
Yeah. That's pretty sweet.
So
I know he said, there was something on Twitter, I think, that's a picture of him undoing the mask. And it says, I love playing complex characters. So
I think it's going to be hard for me to switch off Iron Man, though. That's what's going to be interesting.
Agreed.
Right?
I don't know. Remember in Spider-Man, who was the Green Goblin? Willem Dafoe?
Yeah, Dafoe.
He was also in Aquaman. I had a hard time. He was the grandfather of Aquaman.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I'm like, wait, that's the Green Goblin. Now he's underwater?
To be
Well, I
fair,
mean,
though,
whatever.
RDJ will just be in the mask the whole time as Doctor Doom, so
Right,
we don't
right.
really know it's him.
Right.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds went from Green Lantern to Deadpool. So I mean, there is some.
Yeah, but Ryan Reynolds is such an incredible actor.
I was watching one of the interviews between Hugh Jackman and him, and they were asking just random questions. One of the questions is, "Were you ever going to sit down with your kids and watch Van Wilder?" He goes, "Oh, no one's ever asked me that. I don't think so."
yeah. There's a Van Wilder call out in the movie. Like literally, the movie calls out all of their other previous movies.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, what's
It's
his
just like if you're a fan,
his favorite movie that he ever did before he got
it's so cool.
before he got like big time famous was definitely maybe.
Yeah.
Where he has a daughter, and there's a story of the 3 women that he dated, and he was trying to tell the story of which one was her mom.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember
Great
that.
movie.
Yeah,
Great
Yeah.
I remember that.
That was a great movie.
Oh, that's
So,
awesome. Well,
yeah.
Peyton, let's play a game.
All right. All right. We've played a version of this before. It was whenever I had like first gotten into the show. Donnie was still making up games, and he just put random photos up, and they were fucking wild. And we haven't done that in forever, so I figured I would do it again.
I waited for you to say they were fucking horrible.
Well, that too.
Anything that starts with "so Donnie did this"
right.
is
Yeah, exactly.
not. I mean, that just already makes me a little cringy. But okay.
Just to wake up and warm up. All right. Funny
Okay.
captions. What can y'all's brains think up when you see this guy?
Oh, that's Donnie. When he gets older.
That would actually be our oldest brother.
Yeah, yeah. And same size, same ring size, same
Oh.
everything.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, I bet I'd hang out with him though.
Yeah, I was like, he'd probably be fun at a Ren fair.
Yeah, yeah.
He's probably asking, is this a human's
Drinks a lot.
pinky ring or cock ring? Which one is it?
I was wondering if you were going to say that, Keith. If anyone was, it was going to be you.
And it begins.
And
And here we are.
Too early for that joke. Oh wow.
Chihuahua
What
farmer.
happens when you cross a Chihuahua with a kangaroo?
Right?
Yeah, he does. He's got that jacked
He's got
kangaroo
the
face.
jacked arms like the kangaroos do.
Do we let the farm dogs out?
Oh, nice.
I go to it ain't much, but it's honest work meme, but in a Chihuahua accent.
Oh, there you go.
Go ahead. Do the accent for us.
Yeah, do the accent. What's a Chihuahua accent? All I can think of is Yokiro Taco Bell.
I like that.
What brings us to this guy? I like to think they're brothers or neighbors.
Is that a sloth? What is that?
It's a
Yeah, it's a
sloth.
sloth.
Yeah.
Hipster sloth.
Hipster
Yeah.
sloth. That is kind of the hipster sloth.
He's trying to be a farm fluencer.
Yeah.
Farm
Did you get this from your dating site? Is this farmersonly.com?
Like his
Yeah,
head
yeah.
is so much
Farmersonly.com.
bigger than his hands, though. Like in a weird way. And
They say
sloth
about big
is a lot.
boots. They have big hands.
He's got tiny
Yeah.
hands.
Oh,
Aw.
Ninja Rabbit. That actually makes sense. Those things are quick.
Wait, what's the name of the killer rabbit on Monty Python? The
Oh,
one
God.
for the quest of the Holy Grail that freaking kills all the
Yeah.
knights.
That's him now.
That is him.
Oh,
I
wow.
agree with that.
He's turned ninja.
Yeah, he's got training now.
Thumper, Thumper went to
Evil head.
ninja school.
Thumper Ninja.
Thumper Ronin.
Thumper Ronin. Wow.
The last samurai rabbit.
The Last Samurai Rabbit.
Oh,
Your coffee machine has worms.
That's
yeah.
stuff in nightmares.
Beetlejuice.
Right?
Nightmarish.
See, I think Dune back to Office version.
Oh, Dune back to office. That works. What happened to the one worm by the guy to get chopped in half? It's like going
I
down.
know.
It doesn't come out.
What is it doing right there?
I have no
Why is the
idea.
human so small compared to that? coffee machine?
And why is the one worm wearing a suit? Are they
Yeah, that one's got a
transforming?
shirt on.
I think it's supposed to be saying that we spend way too much time at the office.
Look, the
How
worm
big-
next to the guy has no head, and the worm to the right has 2 heads.
Two head. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just saw that.
Where do you
And then
go?
the one in the back's doing the dirt face.
That one's just smiling. Look at all of its pretty
he's,
teeth.
he's saying, Have you seen my stapler?
Oh my gosh, these are crazy. Oh, okay.
Keith on Saturday night.
Ah!
Oh, yeah.
Damn right.
I'm
it
just a Kmart cowboy.
Oh my gosh.
Who is that? Is that like a famous person that's supposed to be? Or is that
No,
just
this is
something-
an AI image. I don't.
Looks like.
What did you type in to get this image?
No, I don't have the fancy AI image creator. I just went on Reddit and searched AI images.
Looks like Elon Musk and Christian Bale like had a baby.
Ooh, Robin said killer rabbit, just a harmless bunny.
Oh, Robin, he's not harmless. Don't let him fool you.
It's like Dia de la Tesla.
Yeah.
It does. It's very Elon Muskish, isn't it?
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
that's fun.
Whoa, hang
What the
on.
hell am I looking at?
There's a
Frog
lot
horse.
going on.
I don't mind the frog riding a horse, but it's not a horse.
It's a frog horse.
Frog riding a
No.
frog horse.
Riding a
Force.
That is a whole new way to play
Force.
Frogger.
Oh,
Wait,
oh.
do you lose 2 lives when you get hit by the frog?
Right. Wow.
I don't know.
I don't have anything for this one.
I don't got anything for that.
I don't
I
have
just
anything.
saw it.
Survey.
Yeah, if nobody comes up
What-
with
what
anything,
did-
that's fine.
what did
I
you
saw
type
it
in
and
for this?
No, that's what I'm
he
saying. I
did-
just scrolled through Reddit and I found AI images.
Well, it's the fact that you're on Reddit. Explain.
Could it be ribbit saddles instead of blazing saddles?
Oh,
Ooh.
That's good.
But I saw this and I knew somebody else had to suffer with me when I saw this picture. So that's
Thank
why I
you
put
for
it
that.
well, thanks.
welcome.
We
We're
love
all on
being
the
a part
same
of it.
page now.
Like there's no
Yeah, we're
harmless
all
at
on
all.
the
He just got reins to the dude's mouth.
Yeah, through the mouth, yeah.
Yeah.
Time marches on.
Oh, look at
That's-
that. Look
that's
at that.
good.
I think that's the winner.
Wow.
That was
Indeed.
I like that. Step on those
Moving on.
people. Be a giraffe. Oh,
I don't know
this
why
reminds
it's
me. I saw a funny thing. If
Giraffic Park?
if,
Just go
if
in.
giraffes were a minotaur, would they have a long neck and short human head, or would the human head be like really tall and long?
That'd be weird.
I feel like this
I think,
is a mama giraffe mad at a baby giraffe for something he did.
except
But-
Mama Giraffe's on roids.
And
Yeah,
Right?
right?
11,000 people, seen that image.
what does
Wow.
that say?
They love giraffes. What do you mean?
Some type of parenting metaphor in there, deep
Yeah.
in
I
there.
think so.
Wait, is she yelling or is she about to eat it?
Eat them, right?
I think, yeah, most likely.
Both are a good parenting metaphor. Microsoft Office.
Yes.
Wow. That's
Yes.
awesome. A 1984. That's amazing.
It has flop disk right there.
So
Yeah.
what's interesting is there's a keyboard but no screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you know what you're typing?
You're the toast of the screen.
You just read your toast.
Right. Read your toast.
Oh, you can print images on your toast. I
You
got
can
it.
print images on your toast. There
God,
it is.
somebody's
it
gonna
is.
come out with Jesus' face on a freaking piece of toast.
Oh yeah.
Again.
like they do the whole thing. Everybody got an uproar for the Olympics. They did
Yeah.
the Greek gods, and they thought they were making fun of the Last Supper,
Oh my gosh.
and it was all about the Greek gods, and the religious went fucking bananas over this.
It's so crazy.
There's a lot of people on Facebook. I think Peyton, your grandfather's one of them. He keeps boycotting the Olympics and asking everybody to boycott the Olympics. And
It's not making fun of the last.
They're not
yeah, it's
making
all the
fun of
Greek
the Last Supper at all.
gods.
It's the Greek mythology.
That's the funniest thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised with my grandpa. If it's on Facebook, he'll believe it.
Oh, my mother-in-law will too. They'll be hand in hand.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh,
Ooh.
Except if the roles are reversed, why isn't the human under the water?
Because he wouldn't be
And
able
why
to
does he
breathe.
have chickens?
yeah, those are chickens,
They are.
and the chickens are floating.
I was saying, if the roles are reversed, shouldn't they all be? Why is the table so tall? Just like put them
Is
under
it
the water.
because we just can't breathe underwater? So
Yeah, it's got to be just because.
But how can the fish breathe out of water?
And the fish ain't sitting in that chair.
no, he's still swimming in no
We are
water.
way
And where
over
is he?
analyzing the damn picture.
Just keep swimming.
so much?
It's a tough one to play
What
logic
is this?
with.
And Nemo got lost again.
Oh my gosh.
This could be like, what was that? What was that story where the Jack Black played that character that he's like giant, and then Gulliver's Travels. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
Gulliver's Travels.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. That was creepy though.
It's like What If, but Nemo. And it's the last one I got.
That's the Robin Williams movie. What was that? What was that one called?
Oh, the robot. He becomes the
Bicentennial
android.
Man.
Yeah, Bicentennial Man.
Bicentennial
That's
Man.
exactly-
Yeah,
That was a good movie.
Wow.
Bicentennial Man growing. Oh, that was a great movie.
Is this supposed to
A
be
young
like
Bicentennial Man and Cinderella.
a statement on robots raising our kids or tech raising our
I have no
children?
idea.
Yeah,
I
Probably.
get an Alice in Wonderland vibe.
Yes, very much so.
Oh, if Alice in Wonderland was in steampunk world.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh wait, it's Tyler. It's this one's called Last One. Good job.
Oh, geez.
Oh yeah. Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Roll that footage, Peyton.
Creative.
All right, moving on.
Thanks.
This is Mathew Kemp, managing partner of Dialed In Staffing and Read 7 Strategy Group. With Dialed In, Mathew assists with talent acquisition and direct hire services, while with Read, he helps veteran-owned businesses break into the Fortune 500 vendor ecosystem. His big business goal is to grow his client base. And today, he gets the hot seat with the Success Champions team.
Okay.
I really like that Read 7.
How come his
That's
picture was in that photo but not the earlier one?
I'll take it. Yep, it's
Okay.
Red 7.
So it's red. Okay,
It
good.
is Red 7.
Very much so, Red 7.
It's Red 7.
Hey,
Yeah.
we're professional here, Matt. We pull out all the nines. I mean, we really do shit right.
So far, so good.
I got a question right off the bat. Do you know
He was
any
so
executive
impressed by
producers
the
that we
AI
can? Do you know any executive producers that we can change ours out with?
We're actively hiring executive producers.
Fuck off.
And fate would have it, you'd have somebody who owned a staffing firm on the show.
Oh, look at that. You recruited somebody for us.
Pete just walked off.
It's just like that. Peyton's gonna go hide.
Him out.
That's so awesome.
Cut him out.
Well, Matt, welcome to the show, brother. Freaking introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, and then tell us what's the biggest thing we can help you today with your business.
For sure. I appreciate y'all for sharing your morning with me. Quick background on me. I was an infantryman in the Army for 6 years, did a couple tours, got out of the Army in 2008, got a degree in advertising, and worked in big ad shops for about 7 or 8 years in the Austin, San Antonio area, and then fell into corporate staffing. After working at two kind of big conglomerate shops, I realized there was, quite a bit of money to be made in corporate staffing, but not if you're a salesperson or a recruiter. So I started up my own shop at the start of last year. And so I've been growing that business for the last year and a half. And whenever I started off on my, entrepreneurial journey, I want to take advantage of all the coaching I could get, all the mentorship I could get. And there wasn't what I could find a strong element of folks out there that would coach with veteran-owned small businesses and plug them into the commercial space. Everybody wanted to kind of push you into the government space where there's set-asides for veteran-owned small businesses and SDVOSBs and things like that. So it seems like a path of least resistance, but that's not where I had spent my career. I wanted to be in the Fortune 500. I wanted to be in the mid-market. So I kind of had to figure all this stuff out for myself. And after a year and a half, I got my staffing firm to be an approved vendor at over 75 Fortune 500 companies. So that's a cool cocktail story. I'm not doing business with all 75 Fortune 500 companies because I'd be taking this call from an island. But talking to other veteran-owned small business owners, they'd say, "Holy cow, give me your playbook, coach me, advise me." So I realized that there was not a coaching. There was a void to be filled within the coaching space of grabbing vet biz, helping them get their government certs, whether it be SBA, state, or third party, and then having them leverage that and plug them into the Fortune 500 like I did. So I have two businesses running right now, Dialed In Staffing, which is the staffing piece that's been up and running for right at a little over a year. And I'm launching Red 7 this month. Red 7 Strategy Group the mission statement is helping veteran-owned small businesses plug into the Fortune 500 vendor ecosystem. So done a soft launch with Red 7, official launch this month. And really the challenge that I want you guys to help me with is I have two very different sales funnels. I have two very different target consumers. So I'm kind of managing both, but I'm also the head of both companies. So having a much more narrow and long sales funnel on the staffing side versus a much wider and shorter one on the veteran coaching side, it's a challenge to spend my time effectively, have the best return on everything that I'm doing, but also from a subjective point of view, saying a cuss word in one scenario with one sales funnel may build rapport, while saying a cuss word in another sales funnel may exit me from that sales funnel. So that's kind of the both qualitative and quantitative challenges that I'm having with both of these companies as of right now. So that's the challenge I present to you.
Same boat. Right? I've got my company and I've got SCN. SCN doesn't matter what I say.
Right.
My company, it kind of matters what I say.
Right.
So it's tough. Running two businesses, that's almost impossible. It's a lot of work, but every one of us is either attempted or done it, and it can be challenging.
I would, the majority of us at least have a side hustle that we're doing, right? As entrepreneurs and stuff like that. Yep. But the side hustle is not as big of a side hustle as what you have. It's a two full-time hustles.
Right.
So,
well, Stevie, how many companies are you running at this point?
I mean, I would say 3, but I think it is such a good point, right? I think you have to get really good at code switching. You have to get really good at this call is for this business, and then I'm going to quickly change my brain and go to this business. That for me has been difficult. So I now time block based on businesses for my calendar, right? So I do Mondays is all speaking business and empathics work, right? Tuesdays and Thursdays is all theater work. So I try really hard to schedule things so that I can be in that mindset for the entire day and not have to switch back and forth. But in the beginning, it's a lot of switching back and forth. And you just have to, I think, be very aware of who are you talking to in this moment and making sure you're like focused on that conversation and not thinking 5 steps ahead about 3 other things that you're doing. Right. So easier said than done. But
the only way you can do it all in one day is to have the gift that Donnie and I have, right? And that's called ADD. So if you don't have it, I don't suggest going out and developing it.
Right. Yeah. No, I don't recommend
yourself.
Yeah.
Hey, and I learned over the week.
We can switch on a dime.
I learned over the weekend that I don't have ADHD. I'm just divergent. So that just makes me unique. That's like a superpower. So I'm like a superhero now. Like I can get behind this.
Yeah.
So, all right. So a different way of looking at this, Matt, is, and I love, and I say this a lot of times on stage, is a lot of people have no idea what Tony Robbins' business actually is, right? Tony actually runs 105 companies to the tune of $7 billion, but nobody can name any of the businesses he runs, right? So when we think about him running 105 companies, we have to think about what is his major role inside his company, and it's to be the face of Tony Robbins. Like his job is to keep the name Tony Robbins because that's the tip of the overall funnel, right? That's the thing that gets everybody coming to the playground. Now, all of his conferences, the Walking on Fire, all that stuff, I'm sure deep down he has a desire to help the individual person, but all bullshit aside, it's the tip of his funnel system. If he can get you to a conference, odds are he's getting you into one of his 105 companies. There's no other reason you do a 16-hour freaking training conference till 1 o'clock in the morning, unless you're going to wear people out until they give up and just buy whatever the fuck you're selling. Right. Right. Here's my credit card. Shut the fuck up. Right.
Yes, so done.
So, dude, I rode in a Uber with a guy the other day that was heading to a Tony Robbins conference. $85,000 he paid for that conference. Yeah. I'm like, Jesus Christ, what? I'm in the long game. Dude, if I didn't have
the same thing with Grant Cardone. Some guy stood up in his audience and he said, listen, he goes, I just took out a loan to be here at this Grant Cardone conference. He goes, I slept in my car for 2 days because I couldn't afford the hotel after I paid for the ticket and airfare to get here.
Dude, I'm in the wrong. I wish I didn't have morals, right? Because the first thing I would do would become a freaking evangelist.
Right.
I swear to Christ, right? But all this
people say the Success Summit is expensive. Look at us.
right.
We save them money.
Lord.
You don't have to sleep in your car to come.
Too funny.
But I think what all those guys have done successfully, though, is they've outsourced, right? They find people that can successfully run.
Yeah.
Maybe not the whole thing, but a good portion of what's taking up the majority of your time, so you can manage the process and not run the process.
Well, and I think that really is like the key point is to Donnie's point, you have to become the figurehead. You have to become the human and the brand and not the companies. So they want to work with you. How do I work with you? Well, you have option A, you have option B, you have option C. Like these are all the things that I do, but it's really how do I work with you? Right. And I think that's really the key is if you're having to do the daily work for each business, then are you really able to step back and be the figurehead that you need to be, right, for that? So I think that's something to think about too.
Yeah.
Right. Because like on the corporate staffing side, I think the end customer, they fall into two groups. Either they've worked with me before or they like me, or, the general sales process of, all right, you meet my capabilities, you seem like you're going to be great to work with. Or it's the opposite end of the spectrum where it's like, look, we just need a veteran-owned business in our vendor ecosystem. If your capabilities are the bare minimum of what we need, then cool. Welcome aboard, buddy. And like, I'll take either, but on the coaching side, people want to see, all right, well, this dude was an infantryman in Iraq and Afghanistan, went to college, worked in corporate, like started his own businesses, and then now is sharing his pathway and his journey to help strengthen me. And, so I think I need to be much more of a figurehead for that reason to validate on the coaching side. But probably half of my staffing clients are like, cool.
Yeah, but I would also say that you have a very unique position where you can actually go dual platform. So literally you could go all in on staffing on LinkedIn and just do nothing but staffing there. Facebook, Instagram, the rest of that stuff, you could go 100% veteran.
Yeah.
Right. And just literally divide platforms for content and message.
Right.
Is one way to look at it. But two, I think about some of the biggest recruiters I know on LinkedIn. They don't talk about recruiting. They talk about a lot of different things. Every once in a while, they may throw a recruiting or something in there, but they're, talking about different things they've learned in life, what's going on in the world, all kinds of, they're really establishing a personal brand, and showing that off, which is allowing them to get a lot of recruiting business. You could follow that same model on LinkedIn and Facebook. Like low hanging fruit on the veteran side for Facebook is, have you started a Facebook group that's veteran government contracts, that speak just to those people that are looking for that. Now we know on Facebook, you got to go through the riffraff. You're going to get more broke people that are just looking for handouts. But if you create your funnel system there, they will show up.
Yeah, I had planned on dividing because, for the past 5 years, I've been using LinkedIn as my primary top of funnel for all of my staffing business. And to be honest, in the past 5 years, probably 95% of my net new business has come from LinkedIn. So I had planned on, just because I've kind of cultivated not really an audience because I'm not producing content on LinkedIn, but I have, over 3,000 hiring managers or VPs or directors in a variety of different industries that are already kind of prepped in that ecosystem. And then I have no footprint on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, or Instagram on the Red 7 side because I want to have enough content to start divvying it up into an actual social strategy, and then kind of launching on all 4 platforms that way. So then I think, to your point, Donnie, kind of having a separation of platforms, which there probably will be very little crossover between VetBiz, TikTok, and corporate procurement in on LinkedIn. So, but then again, like I'm not, I'm concerned that I'm overthinking it, because it's not like I'm saying super controversial shit on one side, hoping it never gets back to the other. Like it's not a flat earth on one side and, round earth on the other, team red on one and team blue on the other in the political spectrum.
Wait, the Earth's round?
That's what I'm told. So,
I don't think that's been proven yet.
Okay.
but I just think that it's going to be a much different, it's going to be much different communication talking to veteran business owners versus,
I don't think so. I think there's enough of, yes, being around a veteran crowd. Even I make veterans flinch when I'm up on stage with the amount and volume of cussing that I do, right? Because anybody that spent 2 seconds in a corporate environment, right, they're gun shy to let an F-bomb slip or the like. So I think you can get away with it being moderate in language across the board. Like you don't have to talk like I talk, right, by any stretch of the imagination. And I don't recommend that for a lot of people, unless you can really handle the backlash. Like I had people come at me over the freaking weekend over it. It's fucking hilarious. Right. But on the flip side, you can be moderate across the board, but even on LinkedIn, like I got flagged the other day for calling Keith an asshole, and I spelled it out, the @ symbol, $2 and a hole, and they flagged it and pulled it off for going against their guidelines.
Yeah.
Like, so you can't cuss on LinkedIn anyways. Right.
Win for Keith.
Right. Actually, they flagged it because I tagged Keith in it, but
what LinkedIn was saying is I'm their favorite bovine, and they didn't want you to treat me that way.
Yeah,
Exactly what that means.
that's what that was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And I wouldn't worry about it. Like Donnie said, I run 2 companies, right? I run Success Champion Networking, do a lot of stuff with that company. I run my software company, and they both feed each other. They are constantly, and that's why I spend so much time doing both, because SCN feeds my software company feeds SCN. So people know me for one or the other, and that's okay with me. Right? I don't mind which one they know me for, because
as long as it's all SCN.
Right, yeah, exactly. Otherwise, I'm an asshole. So, but yeah, I don't care which one they know me for, because they're going to get to know me for the other one. So my 2 sales funnels become one funnel at the end.
And I'd be also curious, it was the staffing stuff that kind of let you into the veteran, government contract work. They really actually could play off each other if you talked about how you got into the veteran stuff because of staffing. Yeah. Right. Let one feed the other, and vice versa. Because
it was all the progress that I made in my first year that led me to kind of have the realization of this doesn't just apply to other staffing companies. You can kind of take the blueprint, and any veteran business, you can just do these 3, 4, 5, 6 steps. And then you can have the exact same, I don't want to call it success, but you can make the exact same progress in kind of getting that foundation set up, because now, it's kind of industry agnostic or even, company agnostic, as long as you're able to sell, as long as they would want to buy your products or services.
So what's a benefit to being a veteran, own business, a VOB? I've never gone back to the distinguishment because I didn't give a shit about doing government work,
right,
on anything. And none of my companies really lend itself to government work, maybe some training, but
there's a lot of money set aside for that type of stuff, Donnie. Yeah.
But you got to know how to chase it.
Absolutely. I partnered with a couple of companies as well that are, minority owned, women owned, disability owned, all of those type of things, because there is very specific set asides, lots of money in government contracts for those very specific.
Yeah. But for what?
Everything,
anything
and everything that the government would want to procure.
Yeah. The money is there and they can spend it on anything. They just have to spend it with there's a certain percentage of those types of companies they have to spend money with.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the set asides there. So it's like what I tell folks is, there's 3 main avenues for getting the benefits of getting your small business administration certification for being a veteran-owned small business or a service-disabled veteran-owned small business.
What percentage rating do you have to be service disabled?
10%.
Oh shit! All right.
So just any service connection disability, and there's three main benefits for that. The first one is the obvious GovCon work because there are set asides. Right now, I'm attached to a prime bidder as a sub on a $1.2 billion IT contract over the next 5 years that they're bidding on because they needed an SDVOSB staffing firm. And they reached out to me because I was already in the database. I've got some partnerships for putting bids on HR consultancy, just pretty much anything within the coaching or consultancy space. There's a need for it, and it all just depends on your codes. So all the GovCon work.
So I'm hiring a grant writer. We'll pay 20% commission off any grants y'all win me. There we go.
There you go.
That actually exists. You can do that.
Yeah. So that's the GovCon route, which, in all transparency, I haven't had a lot of success in the GovCon space. That's a whole nother podcast on why. But again, I've never been in the government space. I've only been in the commercial space, which is where I've had my all of my growth on the staffing side. So you also have the route that I'm going, the SMB, mid-market, and Fortune 500, because the same way that there are set asides in the government space, there's also initiatives in the corporate space. Yep. So JP Morgan Chase is setting aside, I don't know, X amount of $1 billion to spend specifically on small businesses. That's women, minority, LGBT, veteran, all kind of under the same umbrella. They're not held to the same legal constraints as you are in a government space, but they're like, yeah, we're going to try.
But what did they delegate the money for? I mean, it's just a cool education.
So I was on a webinar with the executive director for one of the main airlines, and they say, we buy everything but the plane. If you have products, we'll want to buy your products. If you have services, we'll want to buy your services. So I'm a vendor for a handful of major airlines on the staffing side. So it's basically, finding out what companies already procure your goods and services. On the government space, coaching and consulting, 100%. There's tons of them out there. Now, if you have a pressure washing business, that may be more aimed towards state and local government contracting versus Fortune 500 application. But so far, the two main what I've touched on thus far is the GovCon space and then the Fortune 500 space. Now, there's also the partnership. So that's the third one that I try and push folks to, because similar in the government space, where a large company will partner with a small business to qualify for small business set asides. And it seems kind of shady, but it's common practice that $1 billion company will partner with an SDVOSB in like a 51-49% partnership, and then go after all of these small business set asides. And that's how they kind of navigate that system. So you then open yourself up to partnerships in the GovCon space and a little bit in the commercial space, but say, hey, larger company, I'm a certified veteran-owned small business or woman-owned small business. Let's team up and see how we can break into some of these set-asides. So just getting your zero cost small business administration certification.
Dude, if you don't start a YouTube channel tomorrow, you're an idiot. And I mean it with all the love, because this is the type of shit that will go bananas, because there's like, I didn't know how, I mean, I knew there was grants and stuff, but I didn't know, like, I've shied away from all the veteran stuff, and I'm a 40%, rated disability, veteran,
let's talk, Donnie. 2 months from now, you'll be a certified SDVOSB on the federal and state level.
Bet. But this, TikTok, like, if you're going to do TikTok, it's got to be 3 videos a day, and you just got to keep pumping it out. But this is the exact type of content people will gobble up, because there's so many freaking unknowns.
Right.
And it's also the kind of stuff that picks a fight, because you're going to have the people come out of the woodwork saying you're an idiot, you're a moron, you have no idea what you're talking about. And that's what you need to have happen to go viral.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's why, I haven't put this, this is all content that would be perfect for, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and not necessarily.
It'd be perfect. It'd be perfect for LinkedIn as well.
LinkedIn as well. Yeah, absolutely.
They would gobble this to hell up. And I would challenge that this would feed your staffing business now, because now you're building a personal brand around this idea. how many big ass freaking veteran companies need staffing and recruiting? You know, you start thinking about companies like a Black Rifle Coffee, or you start thinking about some of these bigger corporations and whatnot that don't know about this kind of stuff, have never dove into it, because some of us don't talk about our military past, right? You become the voice that comes up there, and oh, by the way, you can do staffing as well. That's a 1-2 knockout punch,
Right.
that gets you into doors that otherwise you wouldn't be able to get into.
There you go.
You know, yeah, I would go stupid loud with this on LinkedIn. I don't think it'll hurt your staffing business whatsoever, especially if you've not put out a lot of content. I think this will help, you know, your business completely, because it's such a unique, you know, content idea that I don't see a soul talking about. I'm sure there are.
Well, that's what drove me to start up the coaching business, because I looked through it. Like, even if you know, there's some great organizations that do a little bit, but not from start to finish. You know, there's a couple veteran organizations that I'm a part of that, you know, do everything they can from, you know, kind of a general business coaching, or, you know, bring in some guest speakers and things like that. But there's not, again, there's tons of consultants and content online about getting you into the GovCon space and kind of navigating that a little bit. But, you know, everything outside of that, corporate space, partnerships, things like that, nobody's talking about, nobody's doing it. So that's why, you know, that's what gave me the, you know, the motivation to just, yeah, I'm trying to grow my staffing business, but let's go ahead and just start up another one. You know, in the midst of it.
Is there any benefit to having more than 10% disability?
No, not in the eyes of the small business.
So it's just a threshold, and you're 10%, and that's all that matters. Because if Donnie does a psych evaluation, that 40%.
I mean, that's 95.
You get a little gold star and a little wreath around it.
Right.
Face. Yeah.
Right.
He gets a lollipop when he does something right.
Can I get like second and third award like you did on your ribbons? You know,
I don't believe so.
Green participation.
You know,
that's the only ribbon I got in the Marine Corps was a participation ribbon. I mean,
but also at the very least, you know, a challenge that I found when I started my staffing business was validity. And that's whether you're on a sales call, or you're trying to become an approved vendor, or you're just kind of doing your general sales ops. This, from just a sheer marketing communication standpoint, if you're able to do business with the federal government, then that kind of validates you as a real company, you know, able to do business with SMBs or mid-market, or anything in that realm. So if anything, you can drop it on your email signature, and there you go. You can let people know that you're a real company. You're a big boy.
Mike,
so
Buzz.
I get a box of crayons, which is perfect. But we'll go back. You know, Petrie just got here, so let's start the show over. And let's go back to Petrie just got here.
But she does want to know what's keeping you from sharing this stuff on social platforms.
So it's a personal inflection up until recently with the starting of the coaching business. I've never really wanted to be the face of Dialed In Staffing. Like, I'm the guy that goes on all the pitch meetings and you know, manages all the business, but I've never really needed to put my face on there. Now with the staffing, or with the vet coaching side, that's going to be mandatory. Like, I'm going to have to. And so I'm essentially saving up all of this content for a proper strategic launch on these platforms, because I have no presence other than LinkedIn.
Well, you know, an interesting play with Buzz popping in here is Buzz is talking about starting a VOB SEN chapter. So a veteran-owned business success champion networking group, all just for veterans.
Okay.
So that may be a prime ground for you guys to chat, just to combine forces of somewhat of,
for sure.
Who do you know?
I also want to say, just as a reminder, as you go into this and you're talking all of this greatness, you always should mention your staffing business, because your staffing business is where you have success.
Right.
The number one places that I think coaches go wrong when they come on the scene is they just start coaching and start talking about how they know all this stuff, but they have nothing to actually say.
No validation. Yeah.
Right. So again, that's a way to bring your two together, is use your staffing as the success story for why people should listen to you. And so that's going to be important too, is just making sure you don't lose sight of that in all of the teaching
Yeah, because let's be honest, in the veteran space, there's so many scam artists and whatnot that have done so much stupid shit. Like the largest veterans group on Facebook turned out to be one big ass scam where they fucked over a whole lot of veterans. There was 30,000 veterans in there, and they fucked over a ton of them. Where the guy ended up being trouble with the law, all kinds of stupid stuff. So, there needs to be some honest voices out there in that veteran community.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, that's, again, another aversion to, I've never wanted to be an influencer or anything like that, but it's, again, it's necessary on the coaching side to get my face out there and say like, look, there's a lot more options out there than just being pushed into government contracting and kind of blindly bidding on stuff. But you need to go through all these steps. And I also talk to a lot of folks that, a lot of veteran business owners that are like, I started the process and, they asked me for this and this, and I just threw my hands up and I was like, screw it, I don't want to do this. And so what I've kind of likened it to is whenever you set out on a road march with a 50-pound rucksack and you don't know when the end is or when the turnaround point is, then it just sucks the whole time right from the beginning because you don't know when the end is. If you have somebody there to just share some light milestones and say, just knock this stuff out. It's going to take you 2 hours over the course of the next 2 or 3 months. And then you're going to be able to do this. And then you're going to be able to do this. It gives, not success markers, but at least some progress milestones that'll keep you motivated through the process. Because nobody wants to deal with, the United States Small Business Administration, But once you get through it, you're now an SDVOSB. And it's going to take you 30 minutes every year to click through and say nothing's changed to keep that certification live. So you absolutely should do it if you qualify for it.
Yeah. It's awesome. Very cool.
That's huge. That's a great question from Robin. Have you looked into how many veteran podcasts are out there?
So that's again, the difference between the two sales funnels. The top of funnel for vet biz coaching is going to be podcasts, and referrals and networking. And then that's pretty much the top of the funnel for me. Top of funnel for the staffing side is kind of your classic, biz dev outreach, cold
I don't necessarily see it that way. I really think that by going after the government contracts on the veteran side of things, I think what everybody keeps saying is the staffing gives you validation. So as you begin talking about this, because once again, your successful veterans, you never know they're a veteran. They never talk about it. Right. Who's the guy with the mustache?
Oh, hey, Phil.
We try and figure that out every episode. He just randomly shows up. Kind of creepy. But talking about this government grants from the veteran side of things, this whole, funding side of things, because you've actually done it through a staffing company, yada, 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 brings a lot of validation. And I think talking about the, veteran side of things actually will get you more recruiting business than you can imagine. Just because, once again, the successful veterans never talk about being a veteran, right? They've done something other than the fucking military, right, in their life. The people who talk about being a veteran are the ones who the veteran was their high school football catch. I get to say that I'm a veteran, so I get to bash on that shit all day long, right? Everybody else doesn't freaking talk about it because that moment does not define them. And I think you'll find more people that are needing staffing services that you barely know that they were a veteran.
Right. No, I'm with you.
And to learn yourself how to be a personal brand, come to the Badass Business Summit, September 18th to 20th in Fort Worth, Texas.
Well, we'll teach you how to get on
We'll
podcasts,
teach you
how to get on more stages, how to dominate on LinkedIn.
What a perfect setup.
Wow, that's a great segue.
I love a good segue.
That needed to be said at some point in this conversation.
That's so awesome. So, Matt, we covered a whole bunch of stuff with you, bud. I'm kind of curious, what are some of your takeaways? What are some of your thoughts from all of this?
Well, I think my preconceived notions of a defined line of between church and state, between the two businesses, is not the way to go. You guys kind of squashed a few concerns that I have of why I should separate them. The split between platforms. But I do now realize that there's a much more opportunity for cross pollination between clients or referrals, but between the two businesses. So I think that's the primary takeaway for me today.
Love it.
So Matt, if this is successful, where do we send the invoice?
Let's see. Donnie, I'm gonna need your email after this so that we can.
I don't need necessarily the invoice. I just need a percentage of the overall company, right? So let's talk a lot further than that. That's awesome. Well, guys, let's talk about upcoming events. What do you guys have coming up that we can celebrate you? I know Stevie, you got to play. Bernie, you've got some workshops coming up. So let's get after it. Stevie, what do you got?
I have vacation. That's where I'm at. I leave Thursday. I'm gone for like 10 days. I'm just all about.
Where are you going
right now? We're going to the Dominican Republic.
Oh, nice. All inclusive?
Huh?
All inclusive or?
Yeah, all inclusive.
Oh, dude, that's so rad.
And
it's so much cheaper to go to Dominican Republic than it is like Bahamas or anything.
Oh yeah. No, I'm super excited. We've never been, and I've been flying so much that we got upgrades, so we're first class the entire way too. So.
Oh, that's awesome. You'll be hammered by the time you get there.
Pretty much. My plan is to drinking at 10 a.m.
You need somebody to carry your bags?
Right?
No, I have Matt for that.
Oh, you need somebody to go instead of Matt? I mean,
you can't even lift them.
Yeah, if you can fit in my bag, Keith, you can come with us.
That's a big bag.
That's a really big bag.
Preferably with wheels.
Our next play, Fleetwood Project, our next play will be coming out in October. So we're a ways off from that one.
Why so long?
A little bit of a break. So it's good though.
I got a huge event coming up this Friday afternoon. I'm going to see Scotty McCreery at Winstar. So that's big.
Oh.
I don't know who that is.
He was the American Idol guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's no Ruben Studdard, but he was pretty good.
And where's Ruben Studdard today?
Who knows?
Exactly.
Yeah, the only idol that's done anything really is Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah.
So he's the original. Yeah. So Bernie, what do you got?
So I got a few things coming up. The one that I'm actually really excited about today at 5 p.m. Eastern, we're doing an event called Let's Talk About Suicide, because we need to, really highlighting the necessity to talk about mental health and suicide at this point. Unfortunately, it's happening way too often. Too many people checking out. So doing an event, purchase ticket through Eventbrite, $20 admission, and it goes to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Last 2 years, I participated in their Out of the Darkness walk, and it's really amazing. Truly, a lot of people obviously are there and coming together and talking about their experiences, but it's also really fucking sad how many people have taken their lives and the impact that it has on their families and loved ones. So doing an event today to talk about suicide.
Awesome. I've got a whole bunch. I'm not going to try and post all the links, but I'll walk you through them all. On August 1st, there's a B2B happy hour in Fort Worth. That one looks to be at the bar called Atlas off of Main Street. Then on August 2nd, I'm on a panel for Connect Fest 24 put on by Cheryl Powers and Rob. So that'll be a lot of fun. That'll be in Lost Colinas at Very Space. On August 9th, there's a Quiet Connector, Introverted Strategies for B2B Success. That's a workshop I'm running. On August 13th, we're launching our international chapter, SEN Global Connections, with Mike and Melissa launching and running that one off. Then on August 15th, we're launching a new chapter in Southlake, Texas, Coffee for Closers. That's with Brandon and Tim. So that'll be a lot of fun. Those guys are just characters. If you're in the DFW market, there is an open to everyone Badass Business Summit pre-summit happy hour. That will be at the Truck Yard in Fort Worth over in Alliance. And then September 18th through the 20th, we'll have the Badass Business Summit here in Fort Worth, Texas, helping you show off and showcase your personal brand. Where Stevie and I will be doing a lot of speaking on getting you on stage, getting you on podcasts. Phenomenal freaking podcast panel. Awesome LinkedIn panel. You'll get an opportunity to pitch, to be on shows, get on stages. You'll get to hear Bernie speak. I don't know about what, but Bernie will be there.
His title of speech is Mustache Munchies.
Mustache Munchies. That's awesome. So,
how to pick the right things out of your mustache.
Spicy.
Hopefully it's not crunchy.
Yeah, I want to know what goes through a marketing firm's head when they say, let's create crackers, let's make them look like mustaches and call them mustaches.
That's what we should do.
I want to know what names they decided against.
Right? The names they threw out.
Right.
Go back in time.
Mustache Munchies. That is it, you guys. That's what we're going with.
Oh my
Dude,
God.
Hey, you need to create a game
in the history of business
that just puts like random bags of food, and we got to come up with names for it.
Yes.
Like Mustache Munchies.
Yes.
Oh, too funny. So, but lots of events, lots of cool things going on, busy, especially as we're starting to creep into August where, everybody gets ready to start getting back to work. So it'll be a lot of fun. So, but we're here, guys, every Monday at 8 a.m. Central. We bring in one of our guests and they can beat the hell out of them. And, Matt only cried a little bit. So it was a good day. So, but
good having you here, Matt. It's always good to see you, man. Thanks for being on the show. We appreciate you.
Yeah, it was a great time. Thanks, y'all.
Absolutely. So come hang out with us next Monday. We'd love to see you. Otherwise, love you, mean it. See you. Bye.